Today, we're in my Plymouth kitchen, and I'm going to show you how to make homemade tortillas using only 4 ingredients. It's fresh, it's simple, and it's delicious. Let's get started. Here's what you'll need. I use 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I use the King Arthur brand. I find that they have the least amount of ingredients, but please be careful when you're shopping for your flour or your bread flour. You want to buy as limited of chemicals as possible, or it could ruin the entire process. I use a 1/3 cup of oil. I'm using grapeseed oil from an Italian market. Any good Italian market near you will do. And a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 3/4 cup of water. That's all you need. Next, let's talk kitchen gadgets. I love shopping for kitchen tools. Today, we're going to be using a dough whisk. This is something that one of my friends introduced to me, and they are very inexpensive, but such a game changer in the game of bread, flour, dough, all of it. We're going to use our rolling pin. If you have a marble rolling pin, I would highly recommend that. I don't own one yet, but I'm excited to acquire one. You can also use a set of gloves, kitchen gloves, but I find that with this kind of dough, it's not very sticky, so it's pretty easy just to work with your hands. And a pasta board. So if you don't have granite or stone, you're going to want to use a pasta board, and it will help you just kind of keep control of your dough, and then it latches onto the counter so it doesn't slide away from you. The other thing we're going to be using today, when we're done with the dough and we rolled them into the balls, we'll be setting them on our little baking sheet, and this just ensures that they don't stick to anything while you're waiting to fry them. It's time to add our ingredients. We're going to start with our salt. And what I like to do is add the salt and then give it a mix so that the flour and salt are evenly combined before you start adding your heavy ingredients. So spin this around a little bit. And this is where the dough whisk really comes into play. Because of the grooves, it just kind of spins everything perfectly. Next, we're adding our water. So we have 3/4 cup of water measured out perfectly. And our oil. Alright, we're going to give this a nice mix, and this is starting to come into play very nicely. You got to work fast. Alrighty, there we go. We're going to start working with our hands now. So that kind of gave us a good start, but now we need to finish it by creating our dough ball. So I'm going to work this into a ball in the bowl, and we're going to prep our space right here, very nice actually, for our pasta board. Alright, we're going to move these, and out onto the board it comes. Don't worry about the scraps in the bottom of your bowl. I always say whatever's left behind is, perfectly fine. But we're going to knead this for about a few minutes into a dough ball. I want to leave what's falling off behind. I'll take the big piece, but the little stuff, I don't want it in there. So we're just going to kind of push that to the side, because you want everything even. This is really good. I think using the high quality oil makes a huge difference. And all we're going to do now is pop this back into our bowl here. I'm going to just get rid of the excess. And we are going to cover it with a tea towel, and we're going to let it rest for 10 minutes. I'll see you in 10 minutes. It's time to form our tortillas. We're going to take our dough that has rested for our 10 minutes, and we're going to just shape it a little bit nicely here. And we're going to chop it into about 8 to 10 sections. So we're just really creating small pieces. And we're going to divide these up as we go. Alexa, stop timer. So I want to take about maybe a little bit more than this. So I'm going to start with this, about enough to fit in the palm of your hand. That's going to be the size of the tortilla we're looking for. And you can rest your cut dough over here while you wait. And we're going to just press these out. So I start a little bit this way. I don't really flour my board, they don't need it. And I'm keeping a paring knife nearby so that I'm able to make my tortillas as perfect as possible. But it takes a lot of pressure, so you want to make sure you're rolling in a full circle, as flat as possible. And behind me we have our skillet getting hot. You're not going to add any oil to this. You're just going our dough. I want you to also heat up your skillet. So just turn on your skillet. If you have a gas oven, I like medium to high heat. Do not add any oil or anything to this pan here. We're just going to let that get as hot as possible. So you're going to notice that as time goes on, your tortilla is going to be more pliable and you're going to be able to get it as thin as possible, and it's just going to kind of stretch over time. I take a paring knife and I just kind of cut off as much as I can to get that perfect round, because you're going to make a taco out of this, so people aren't going to want curvy tortillas, but a little bit rustic is totally fine. So this is what we've ended with. We have a little street corn tortilla, and we're just going to pop it into our skillet, and we're going to grab our spatula and watch this. It does not stick at all. It's very light, and you're just going to let this heat until the bubbles start on top of it. I like to say it takes about maybe like 12 to 15 seconds, and then I flip it. You want to watch this too. You always want to like kind of peek underneath just to make sure you're not burning the first couple. But once you do a few, it's kind of just a rhythm as if you were doing a pancake. Now I'm starting to get a few bubbles. I'm going to let them rest at that point so that the bubbles become dark. Such an easy task. Check. Now, if you have picky eaters in your family and they don't want anything crunchy, this is the perfect place to stop, where you just get a little bit of brown. But in our family, we prefer to have a little bit of crunch with our flour tortillas. There are times I will just flip it back and forth just to get a little bit extra darkness. Watch. This one is perfect. You can stretch this as thin as you want or add as much dough as you want to make tortillas as large as you would like. But I like to call this one just about done. You have a nice puffy tortilla. We're going to put it on our tortilla bed, and we're going to continue to make more. Here you have it. Fresh homemade tortillas. Perfect for eating plain, for tacos, or for wraps. Once you try these, you won't be going back to store-bought. While out shopping, I was amazed by the amount of chemicals in basic tortilla shells. This inspired me to come home, grab some flour, and get to work. I am eager to hear how your first time making my tortilla shells went in the comments below. Be sure to follow my page as we discuss the basics to a chemical-free kitchen, plus my tips and tricks behind building a perfect home. I'm Sergey Shepa, and this is Sergey.